Hi, everyone. Matt Clark, research analyst for Money Markets here with your weekly marijuana market update. Now, today I'm going to answer a viewer email about 3 stocks and, of all things, Congress. You don't want to miss it. First, I want to share something with you. There's a lot of fear from investors right now. Fear over the Fed, inflation, whether we've seen the bottom of the market. But I want to let you know that now is really not the time to be afraid. These market crises can actually be a blessing in disguise. You just have to know where to look. Now, Adam is putting the final touches on a reliable system for finding hidden opportunities in these kinds of crises that allow him to capitalize on them before anyone else realizes what's happening. Now, on August 30th, he's unveiling the entire system, the complete system, so you have a shot at putting yourself and your loved ones on the winning side of history. So click the link above, right up top here, to learn more about how you can turn markets pessimism into maximum profits and protect your wealth along the way. Now, let's get on with today's update. Today, I'm going to answer a viewer email about 3 cannabis stocks and, yes, Congress. Greg emailed his question to feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. He said, I recently purchased Curaleaf, Tilray, and YOLO based on the assumption that the Republicans would lose both the House and the Senate now that Roe v. Wade has been overturned, thus shooting Republicans in the foot. There should be nothing impeding the Safe Banking Act if my assumption is correct. I don't believe there's much time to buy at these depressed prices if true. Thanks for considering my question, Greg. Well, Greg, thanks for your question. And for us using your question, we're going to hook you up with some very cool money and markets gear all for free. My team's going to reach out to you and find out and get more information from you so we can get that off to you ASAP. Now, there's a lot to unpack here, so let's start with the politics. Currently, yes, the Democrats control both the House and the Senate. They only control the Senate by a very slim margin. It's a 50-50 split, and the vice president holds the tie-breaking vote. Now, the assumption that Democrats may even gain on their majority in both chambers could be a little pie-in-the-sky thinking. Their prospects are currently maintaining a slim majority in the Senate and potentially losing it altogether in the House. But it's American politics, so anything can really happen. Now, assuming what you say does come true, then no, there's little to hold back the passage of the Safe Banking Act, which is basically a bill that would give cannabis companies access to traditional banking where they don't have it now. And there would be little standing in the way of adopting the Cannabis Administration and Opportunity Act, or the CAOA. This bill would basically decriminalize cannabis on the federal level. But if Republicans gain in either chamber, it's a safe bet that both these bills are dead, despite the fact that a majority of Americans support legalizing marijuana on the federal level. Now, let's take a look at the stocks Greg mentioned. Now, this chart shows the 1-year daily returns of Tilray Brands, which is TLRY, Curaleaf Holdings, which is CURLF, and the AdvisorShares Pure Cannabis ETF, or YOLO. Now, as you can see, over the last 12 months, all 3 have suffered significant declines, all reaching the bottom in June and July of this year. Now, we can look at these individually to get a clearer picture. Let's start with Curaleaf. Now, Curaleaf Holdings, which trades over the counter under CURLF, is a Massachusetts-based cannabis operator in the U.S. It operates about 134 dispensaries and 28 cultivation sites across 22 states. The stock was down as much as 55% in July when the rest of the market was taking a bath as well. Now, it rebounded slightly at the end of July, retraced some of that at the beginning of August, but has started to come back up again and is trying to break through resistance at the $6 mark. Over the last 12 months, the stock is down about 47.7%. And just of note, analysts at Jefferies recently cut revenue expectations for Curaleaf, along with Trulieve, Cronos, and Canopy Growth, citing an oversupply in the market. Now we can see Tilray Brands Incorporated, trades on the Nasdaq under TLRY, is much more global than Curaleaf, with operations in the US, Canada, Europe, South America, and Australia. The stock had a nice bounce in March of 22, but pared all those gains back by late April. After reaching a bottom in June, the stock bounced up 35% to where it is as of me recording this today. Part of that bounce is due to a 22% increase in revenue on a year-over-year basis the company reported in July. Over the last 12 months, Tilray is down about 67.3% and has the largest decline of any of Greg's 3 stocks that he mentioned. Now, of note, Tilray recently announced that CBD beverages would be coming to shelves in 13 states through a partnership with Southern Glazer's Wine and Spirits. And then finally, there's YOLO. The AdvisorShares Pure Cannabis ETF, which is YOLO, is an exchange-traded fund that invests in growth and value stocks in the cannabis space. Its biggest holdings are, and this is kind of interesting, the AdvisorShares Pure US Cannabis ETF, which is MSOS. They also hold Village Farms International, which is VFF, and Innovative Industrial Properties, IIPR, and Tilray. Now, YOLO holds MSOS as a way to gain additional exposure to multi-state operators. So it's kind of weird. Why would one ETF hold another ETF, especially one of the same variety? Well, that's the reason why. Now, the stock has experienced a strong decline in the last 12 months, falling 67.4%. It has gained some back since hitting the bottom in June, but only about 11.2%. So really, all three of these stocks have come up from their bottom, but it certainly doesn't mean they won't go back down. The idea of Democrats gaining more control over both the House and the Senate, thus paving the way for the SAFE Act and CAOA being passed, is interesting, but a lot can change between now and November. Now, for reference, 538.com has Democrats maintaining control of the Senate while losing control of the House. In that situation, if that comes to pass, both cannabis-related bills will not reach the president's desk anytime soon. All three of these stocks are good. I don't want to dissuade anyone. They're all good stocks in the cannabis space. But I like to see more of a confirmed uptrend in momentum before jumping in, only because we really don't know where the bottom is in these stocks. And if nothing comes to pass, if the November midterm elections turn out just awful for the Democrats, which at one point they were, now the prospects are picking back up. But if they do switch that way, then these cannabis bills are dead. They're not going to happen at all. And then you're going to see investor sentiment start to turn back south again. And we could see even further declines in these stocks after that election. Now, of those, Tilray does seem to have the strongest uptrend, but it's not a long enough uptrend for me to be sold on it just yet. And trading on the possibility of Congress passing some form of cannabis reform is really not the best idea to me, because things are just too wild in Washington, D.C. Cannabis investors have been bit before. We've seen cannabis stocks go up because there's a mention of a cannabis bill, maybe legalizing cannabis or decriminalizing it, or the Safe Banking Act. Remember, the House has passed the Safe Banking Act, I think, 5 different times. The Senate hasn't even touched it. So there's a lot of odd things in Washington, and to trade on the prospect of Washington doing anything at all is probably not necessarily the best idea. Granted, that's what's moving stocks forward, but you have to look at the company itself, not so much trading on potential headlines, because we see those gains are very short-lived. So I hope that answers your question, Greg. I can't really give you any personalized advice, but I can at least give you an overview of what I think politically, in terms of the political landscape, rather, and what I think of these stocks and their prospects going forward. Now, that's all for me this week. If you have a question about a cannabis stock or maybe the broader market, you can email me. The email address is feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. We're going to flash that right down below there, feedback@moneyandmarkets.com. You can send us a question. If we use it in any of our upcoming videos, whether it is the Marijuana Market Update, the Stock Power Daily, or Stock Power Podcast, rather, or Ask Us Anything, if we use it in any of those videos, we're going to hook you up with some cool Money and Markets gear. Like hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all that. We'll hook you up for free. Don't forget about all the great content we have here on YouTube. It is the best investment insight, and we give it to you all for free because we want to make sure you are bolstering your profits in any market condition. Also, follow me on Twitter. I give you even more insights, not just into the cannabis market or the stock market, but I also am a sports nut. Love me some soccer. The Premier League season, Serie A, Bundesliga, all started. MLS right in the middle of things. Love watching some soccer. So I'd like to tweet out that on occasion as well. You can find me on Twitter at @InvestWithMattC. That's Invest with Matt C on Twitter. Thanks to everyone who watches our videos each and every week. Our team, we do it because we want to bring you the best insights, not just in cannabis investing, but broader investing and the economy as well, to help you bolster your profits in your portfolio in any market condition. Check out moneyandmarkets.com. Each and every day, we provide safe, sound, smart, simple, adaptable, profitable information for your portfolio. I'm Matt Clark, research analyst for Money and Markets, host of the Marijuana Market Update. Until next time, everyone, safe trading.